Hey guys, welcome back to Ben and Brewing's channel. If you haven't been here before, we do product reviews, tutorials, and we have a live chat feature on our website to help you through your Brew Day 911s. Check it out at benandbrewing.com. Today's video, we are trying out iGulu's new Gose Kit. They have a sea salt Gose Kit that they've just released, which is a sour beer. So this is definitely something different than they've done before, but we do have some questions and a few concerns with this kit itself. Let's check it out. All right, so before we get started today, a quick reminder, this video is sponsored by iGulu. You will find a 20% off coupon in the description down below if you wish to purchase the iGulu F1 or S1. That is an affiliate link. It does go to help support our channel. Additionally, a lot of the equipment that we're using in today's video will be linked down below as well. Those are also affiliate links, and if you do choose to purchase it, that does support our channel, and we thank you very much. So with iGulu's kit that they've released, this is what is known as a sour beer, which some people may not necessarily be familiar with. Sour beers are well known for their kind of bright, crisp taste and typically have a very acidic flavor to them, which helps to make them bright. They are not for everybody, and they're not necessarily for the faint of heart. What's challenging about the sour beers typically is that is a combination of yeast and bacteria that actually ferment it out. And the bacteria create a lactic acid, which is what raises the pH or lowers the pH. It's one or the other. Either way, it's going in a direction, but it makes it sour and tart. And so those are very challenging to make because bacteria is very difficult to control, especially from a flavor standpoint. What iGulu has done is instead of using bacteria in their kit, they're using a special type of yeast that actually creates the same acidity that the bacteria does. Now, this yeast was released a number of years ago, and it is kind of a little bit more popular on the homebrewing front. And iGulu has been utilizing it now in this new kit to create this sour beer without the complexity. The other concern that brewers have, especially home brewers, is when they're brewing a sour beer and you're bringing bacteria into your brew house, sometimes that bacteria can take hold in your equipment. And if you don't have good sanitation procedures or there's just a little bit of a scratch on the inside of some plastic tool, it will continue to basically sour every beverage you put through your system from that point forward. The benefit with using a strictly yeast souring agent is there's less risk of contamination within your brew house because the yeast is not as, call it virulent, as most bacteria. So it's easier to clean out if you do want to switch into doing something that is non-sour. Additionally, iGulu has added some spices to this kit, specifically coriander and sweet orange peel. So I'm curious to see how those flavors come through in the finished beer. They've also added sea salt, which will mineralize the water and actually brighten up the taste if done correctly. So with everything that's kind of mixed in with this beer kit, I really want to see how this comes out with the things they're trying to do. It's sour, it's got spices, and they're dumping salt into it. Let's see what's in the kit. All right, so when you open your iGulu Gose Kit, you're going to notice that there really aren't a whole lot of ingredients in it. iGulu has really combined a lot of the ingredients into like single packets to kind of make it easier, especially because they pre-measured a lot of this stuff. So the biggest thing you're going to find in there, of course, is your dried malt extract. They're using a wheat DME with some orange peel and coriander already mixed into it, along with some glucose. Now, obviously, the orange peel and the coriander is for flavoring and spicing, and I really want to see how that comes through in the finished beer. The glucose actually will help to dry out the beer because it is fully fermentable. So it's not going to add any sort of flavor to it, but it is going to boost the alcohol a little bit, and it's going to dry it out a little bit. You're going to find a very small packet of sea salt. And as I mentioned before, this is going to help to mineralize the water. Think of it like seasoning on a steak, right? The salt is a very important component that helps to highlight certain aspects of the flavors. It's going to do the same thing in this beer. Now, typically when you're brewing a beer, you're doing like brewing salts or a brewing profile that's a little bit more subtle into the water itself. This is kind of a big slap of salt into the brewing water. And that is going to, again, elevate a lot of these flavors, and you should get a nice kind of a salty finish either in the mid palate or the end of the taste. You're going to find the yeast packet of the specialty yeast that iGulu is using to sour this beer and ferment it out. And finally, the RFID sticker that will program your machine for the fermentation cycle. All right, now that you have everything laid out, let's go ahead and get into brewing the beer. Okay, so step one with your iGulu kit, we're going to sanitize anything that's coming in contact with the beer. That includes the inside of your Triton keg, the serving tube, and the dip tube, and the inside of the lid. This is a very important step. Please do not skip this. I know we are making a sour beer, but we don't want to introduce other outside bacteria or yeast that could not only take it in a sour direction, but possibly a horrible, nasty direction. So let's not do that. We do use Star San, recommended for its 30-second contact time. We mix it up, put it in a spray bottle. It lasts a very long time. We'll have links in the description down below for those if you wish to purchase them. Next, you're gonna take 116 ounces of clean filtered water. As we mentioned in all of our videos, chlorine is your enemy. You do not want any chlorine in your brewing water. So find some way to remove it, either by filtering it or just go to the store and buy spring water. Because this recipe does add a lot of salt, if you can go with RO water, that's probably actually a really good idea. But if you want to use spring water, you certainly can. It's not gonna impact anything in a negative way, but there's a lot of salt going in this beer. Once you have secured the water of your choice, go ahead and fill it up to the 116-ounce mark of your iGulu Triton keg. Open up your dried malt extract pack, go ahead and add that into the keg, and do the same thing with your salt packet. Go ahead and just add that right on top. Next up, we're gonna stir everything with a sanitized spoon. We use a metal stainless spoon because it's the easiest thing to sanitize. Don't use a wooden spoon. Plastic you can kind of get away with, but metal is definitely recommended. Stir it until it's either all dissolved or about 80% there. That should get you close enough. Next, go ahead and open up your yeast packet and pitch it right on top of your wort. Do not stir this in. Let it kind of rehydrate itself naturally over time. If you do stir it, you're going to shock the yeast. You're going to kill off quite a bit of it. So just let it rehydrate naturally on its own. Next up, go ahead and put the lid on your Triton keg and secure it with the lid lock. Go ahead and attach the serving line to the top of your keg, making sure to close the clamp on the serving line first. You do not want to spray beer everywhere, either post-fermentation or during fermentation. Just make sure that thing is closed down so nothing gets out. Go ahead and load your Triton keg into your iGulu machine, attach the pressure monitor to the top of the keg lid, and go ahead and close your lid. Go ahead and scan your RFID sticker and make sure it is for the correct fermentation profile, the Goslar Sea Salt Kit. This fermentation profile is definitely a little bit different for the iGulu machine. It's actually quite active. They're going to start you out at 6 days at 77 degrees, and then drop down to 73 degrees for 2 days, and then drop down to 68 degrees for 2 days, and then down to 35 degrees for 2 days. So they're really kind of ramping down the temperature as you go through fermentation. Now, the reason iGulu does this is because they don't want to shock the yeast by crash cooling it too fast. So at the end of 6 days, when it should be for the most part done fermenting, they're gradually stepping the temperature down to get you down to that crash cool temperature of 35 degrees. There are some in the brewing community that might disagree with this method of fermentation. The reason being is typically as yeast near the end of fermentation and they start to run out of sugars to process and to chew through, they start to get tired and a little lazy and they want to drop out of suspension. Dropping the temperature will encourage them to do that. So, if the fermentation has not been complete, they will drop out of suspension early. What a lot of brewers recommend instead is to start out at the lower end of the spectrum, 68 degrees, and let the temperature, they call it free rise. In this case, we would program it to step up over a couple of days to that 77 degrees. This ensures that the yeast, near the end of fermentation, when they're tired and sluggish, you're warming them up to speed up their metabolism so they will stay kind of in suspension longer before finally dropping out at the crash cool. We'll have to see if this fermentation schedule has any impact on the ability of the yeast to ferment this beer. That having been said, I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out. All right, guys, we are back in the office. I should start naming this the tasting room since we seem to be doing most of our tastings here. But we're back to taste the Goslar Gose Kit. With me, as always, my partner in crime, Christy. Hello. Who is down for the tasting fun. So let's kind of get into it. The fermentation went quick and clean as far as we know. It is a little bit hazy. It's kind of hard to tell with the glass because it's a little humid this time of year. But it does have a little bit of a chill haze in there. It actually poured with quite a big head on it, which is dissipated, and I'm not getting a ton of lacing on the glass, which makes sense because there's really not really any hops in this. So let's give it a taste, see how we do.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh, tart.
It's very tart.
Very tart, as you would expect from a sour beer. It has a good acidity to it without it being overly acidic.
I'm making that face just because it's tart.
Mm-hmm.
I personally really like sour style beers.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Gose is sour, but this is even more sour than I'm used to. But I personally really like sour beers.
Yeah, I mean, we've had much more sour beers, especially when they use the traditional bacteria versus this kind of specialty yeast that I don't think gets quite as sour, which I don't think is a bad thing. It is crisp, it's light.
Crisp is a good word. I feel like it's very dry, but in a good way.
Now, are you getting any notes of coriander or orange? orange peel.
I am not getting any notes of coriander, which for us is good. 'Cause
I don't like coriander.
both of us don't really
Yeah.
favor beers with a coriander
As
undertone.
a
Yeah.
spice, no, no. Minus the initial tartness from the sour, it is a very delicate beer. It's very light. The salt that was added to kind of mineralize the water to make it really kind of crisper, and again, it's a subtle note. Everything about it is kind of delicate. It is crisp. This is a very good beverage for summertime.
I actually am getting a little bit of the saltiness to it, which is good.
If you've never had a sour beer, I think this is a good foray into it. It's very simple. It's very clean. I'm not getting a lot of complexity out of it. I get a lot of tartness, very clean finish. And that's really kind of it. So there's really nothing over the top about this particular beer. It's bright and sparkly, and it's full-bodied. It has an excellent mouthfeel. Like it's a good beer. I think that there is potential to maybe try to play around with the flavors, as we've kind of talked about before. And we really want to get kind of the tasting down to see what the flavor profile is and what we could do to maybe enhance it or change it or do something with it. But we'll have to kind of put our brains together, our heads together, and figure out if there's a way we can kind of up the ante with it, and maybe add some other fruit flavors with it, or I think we even talked about maybe a little tequila in there. The tequila sweetness might help to soften up the sourness that's in there. It might be kind of a salted Gose margarita. I don't know. We're gonna play around with the flavors and kind of see what we can come up with. Carbonation has been good too with it, so that's been good, and it'll continue to develop because it just finished yesterday, so I'll be curious to see how it develops over time. What's kind of good with the yeast that was used is that when you typically do other types of sour beers and you're doing it with a traditional like a bacteria, they can continue to develop and change over time because that bacteria is still active and tends to be more alcohol tolerant, and so it will continue to sour and sour and sour as it goes on. Because this is a specialty yeast, it should not. It should kind of finalize. The yeast had dropped out. It's not going to get much more sour. So what you have is very stable, which I like. You don't really have to play around with it, especially if you're not used to fermenting things like sour beers, which are very tricky to do. This makes it extremely approachable.
Was it pretty much true to the fermentation time that was set?
It did. Yep. It fermented out and it finished up. And again, we haven't let it age very long, so I want to see how it does as it ages. But right out of the tap, it doesn't have that green beer taste.
Nope.
Like it's ready to go. It's done.
To go.
Thank you so much for watching our video on iGulu's kit, the Sea Salt Gose. Let us know your comments down below if you've brewed this kit before, if you found it to be too tart for your liking, or it was maybe needed to be more tart because you really like those sour beers. If it was complex enough for you, or if you've added fruit flavors or anything to it that we'd love to share with our other viewers and things, just let us know in the comments below. Catch you later, my friends.